Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. And if y'all hear noise in the background, it's okay. I've been stuck in the house with kids and they're doing their own thing. But I hope you guys are doing well. Let's see who we got. What up? Yes, actually, my kids have been out of school for 2 days. And it it started sleeting early Thursday morning. And then it kind of sleeted all day, and then it snowed, and then carry on to this morning. I woke up, it was it was snowing hard, but actually it warmed up. The ice started to melt away, but now we're back down to freezing, and it's going to refreeze. What's up, Babs? What's up, Babs? What's up, Rose and Gold? Hey, y'all. I hope y'all are doing awesome. Anybody in California? I still praying for you guys. I'm like, man, that's that's just unbelievable what's happening, and it's crazy because I watch Fire Country on Paramount. I need to catch up on my episodes, but if y'all haven't seen Fire Country, definitely check that out. But I'm thinking now it's like you got the fighter fighters and you have inmates who want to be well, yeah, they want to be firefighters, or that's, I guess, like a program that they go into, and then once they get out of prison, then they have an opportunity to actually become a firefighter. But I was thinking, I was like, man, if there's really prisoners out there that are helping, put out the fires and stuff. And then Chris Brown made a statement about how they should have a parade for the firefighters, and knock some time off of the prisoners. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's actually real. So definitely prayers to Cali, prayers to New Orleans. It's just so many things that are happening right now, and we definitely have to stay prayed up. That's all I can say. We are getting all this snow. Whew. Child, my god sister lives in Sherman. Oh, really? Yeah, that's up. That's by the border. My son. Yeah, that's by the border of Oklahoma. I don't go. No, let me tell you something. The furthest I went today was freaking Starbucks, and yeah, I came right on back home. Hey, Miss Vicky. Happy New Year's, baby. I didn't get a chance to put my birthday New Year's. Happy New Year's. Oh, okay. Well, happy New Year to you as well. She said, "Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it was okay over here, but I mean, it was probably about a good 4 inches of snow. But I know in Sherman, anything that was near the Oklahoma border, in Oklahoma, Colorado, the Panhandle of Texas, I know that they got a lot of snow. But yeah, it was actually pretty. It was actually pretty. I liked it. So today, I'm not sure if you guys actually heard, but I kind of scrolled and seen this, and I was like, "Ooh, let me talk about this," because I know a lot of people don't talk about it. But Keefe D, aka Dwayne Davis, his attorney ended up filing a motion to dismiss on Monday, trying to get the charges dismissed well, trying to get Keefe D's charges for unaliving Tupac dismissed. And he said a numerous amount of things in this motion, and I'm just like, ooh, I don't know. It might lean towards, his favor of getting this case dismissed, but definitely I'm gonna read it, and you guys are going to be the judge because it is crazy. I didn't know you was in New York. We don't have much snow, but it's cold in Rochester. Oh my gosh. Yes, my baby sister used to live in Buffalo. Now she's back in Texas, but my mom is still in Buffalo, New York. But I remember going there 2018, see Niagara Falls and stuff like that. It was so beautiful. But I want to go back, but not to see my mom. Just to go on vacation. 10 inches in sermon. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. All right, y'all, let's hop on into this because this is a good whopping 35 pages. I probably won't go over all of it, but I'm going to go over the important stuff because What up, GJ? What up? Yes, we definitely got to go over this. Oh, okay. Babs, you be keeping up with everything. So I already know. But let me go ahead and pull this up. So like I said, this motion to dismiss is scheduled to be heard on um the 21st, which is actually I'm pulling up my calendar to see the 21st. So on Tuesday. So in about a week and a couple of days. So Tuesday, January 21st is when this motion. So this is very, very interesting because I'm like, Tupac was unalive when I was a freshman in high school in, so that was 1996. So the fact that nothing has been done, um, in my opinion, I don't feel like anything has been done. There has been, no movement on the case. I don't know what's going on. But the argument that is in this motion is like, and regardless of what you and I think, it's based off of the evidence, and we big on evidence over here. So it's going to be based on the evidence, what the state has done, if they have any witnesses, so on and so forth. So they have to take all of that in consideration. But at the end of the day, if there is no evidence, if there is no witnesses to back up your, statement that you made, your confession, then really what can anybody do, right? So yeah, just like Bab said, y'all better hit that like button. All right, so let's hop right on into this. Let me go ahead and put my banner up. All right. So we have Mr. And I want to make sure y'all can see that just in case y'all want to read along. So defendant Dwayne Keefe Davis hereby files this motion to dismiss on the basis that the state of Nevada has failed to timely pursue these charges against Mr. Davis, failed to provide corroborating evidence supporting Mr. Davis' coerced confession, and failed to honor the federal proffer agreement between Mr. Davis and the United States government, thus substantially impairing Mr. Davis's constitutional rights. This motion to dismiss is based upon the memorandum of points and authorities herein. So let me get back to the check so I can see that. I'm sitting here talking. I feel like I'm yelling because my child got the TV up loud. Oh, Rosico said I'm a Tupac fan. Yeah, I am. So I remember I was walking up the stairs when somebody said he passed away, and I literally cried. That was crazy. All right, so let's look at these statements of facts right quick. So on September 6, 1996, Tupac Shakur was pow-powed several times in Las Vegas, Nevada. On September 13th, 1996, Mr. Shakur allegedly was unalive as a result of the multiple pow-pow wounds. No one was ever arrested for the alleged unaliving of Mr. Shakur until Mr. Dwayne Davis' arrest on September 29th, 2023, over 27 years after the date of the pow-powing of Mr. Shakur. I'm gonna say Tupac because I just sounds so weird saying his name. That's that country coming out of me. All right. On July 16th, 1998, Mr. Davis was interviewed by Assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell. Mr. Davis's attorney, Mr. Edie Fall, was present. The interview was considered a proffer agreement between the United States government and Mr. Davis, under which any information provided by Mr. Davis would not be prosecuted related to that information. Mr. Davis was repeatedly questioned about the alleged unaliving of Tupac. Mr. Davis denied knowing who shot Tupac. Oh, I'm sorry, who pow Tupac. I gotta get better with that. Mr. Davis was asked to speculate as to who pow Tupac. Mr. Davis stated it was the Compton Police Department under direction of Mr. Suge Knight, owner of that record company. Mr. Davis was asked what would be Mr. Knight's motive, and Mr. Davis responded Mr. Shakur was getting ready to leave working with the record company. At no time during his interview, less than 2 years after Tupac's pow powing, did Mr. Davis state that he or members of the Southside Crips were involved in any manner with the pow powing of Mr. Uh, Shakur. Let me see. I want to see. Let me see what these exhibits are. Hold on, because I like to look at the exhibits while we are at least, okay, so that's exhibit 2. Oh yeah, baby child, we're gonna be here. All right, so this is exhibit 1. So let's see what this says. So this says confidential. So Dwayne Keefe Davis, protect identity, date of birth, June 14th, was interviewed by the agents of the United States Attorney's Office of Los Angeles, California. Also present at the interview was Davis attorney Edie Fall and assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell. Pursuant to understanding between Davis and the government, the interview was to be treated as a proffer session. Also, it was understood that the information provided by Davis during the interview would not be used by the FBI in a way which would disclose to individuals outside the FBI that the information came from Davis. Accordingly, this FD 302 document should not be disseminated outside the FBI. Now, look at this date. This was July 16th, 1998. During the interview, Davis provided the following information. Ooh, Lord, let me go ahead, baby. We gonna get into this. Oh my gosh. Oh, Rosie said she cried too. Have he forgotten all that talking he done online? Man, people got short-term memory loss. I was literally a year old the day. Oh, wow. Oh, I feel old. All right, so let's see what he provided the cops. So Davis knows an individual called Zip. He does not know the first or last name, Zip, who is from New York, is a pimp who controls approximately 40 girls. Zip also sells Mary Jane. Davis has no knowledge of Zip selling that white girl. That's what we're going to call it. No offense to anybody in here, but that's what we call that Becky. Okay. Davis did once discuss a transaction with Zip involving PCP. Davis then arranged for Patrick Bernard to give Zip the PCP. Zip came to Los Angeles with the other persons from New York on that and other occasions, but Davis does not know these individual names. Davis met Zip in 1993 or 1994 at a baseball game. An individual called Fats was also at the game and introduced David to Zip. Fats, who is also called Flint, is known as a big Becky supplier who operates in the west side of Los Angeles. Davis associated with Fats prior to 1994. In 1994, Fats was arrested and went into federal custody. Davis was not associated with Fats much since he was released from federal custody earlier this year. Davis has heard that Fats has little money now and does not believe he is currently a major supplier. Excuse me. Fats, Becky's supplier, prior to going to federal prison, was his uncle, who is called TR. Davis has heard that Fats is currently trying to get involved with Aftermath Records. Davis knows of no gang affiliation by Fats, although Fats wanted to be considered a member of the Santana Block Street Gang. When Davis was asked if he had heard of Fats being involved in any unaliving since he was released from federal custody, he responded that when Fats was in the halfway house, an individual named Lamar was unalived near Fats' house. Fats and Wayne Day did not get along. Fats once sent Day black roses. What in the world? Davis is related to Wayne Day. David's uncle Davis' uncle, Will Floyd, is also the uncle of Wayne Day. Concerning the prior rug organization of Wayne Day, Davis was told that the agents had heard that people said that Day was Compton sewn up, meaning he had controlled Becky trafficking in Compton. Davis responded that Day had part of Compton sewn up, but had not Davis's side sewn up. Hmm. Prior to his arrest by the FBI, Davis controlled the rug business in the south side of Compton, which is described more specifically as the part of Compton where the street names have South in the front of them. Reggie Wright Jr., a former Compton Police Department officer, controls the rug trade in the north side of Compton. In approximately 1983 or 1984, Davis sold Becky, which he brought from Patrick Johnson. At the time, Johnson controlled the rug trade in all of Compton and also distributed in the Los Angeles area. Johnson was subsequently arrested federally and went into federal custody. Then, in approximately 1991, Davis became the rug supplier controlling the south side of Compton. When Wayne Day was arrested by the FBI, Davis and his cousin, Rodney Blackman, aka Speedy, took over the area that had been controlled by Day. Davis and Blackman became the major suppliers in the Jordan Downs housing projects in Watts. Huh. All right, let me see what Tabitha said. Tabitha, hey Tabitha, Davis is lying. They also have evidence now that puts him at the same hotel. Oh my gosh. Child. That's all. He just trying his best to get out of. He thought Whack 100 was about to get him out. All right, so let's see. In early 1990s, when the record label was started, Marion Knight called Suge gained control of the Compton rug trade. Knight was associated with all of the Blood Street gangs in Compton, and members of these blood gangs participated with and assisted Knight in the distribution of Becky. Knight would offer blood members getting out of jail thousands of dollars to act as enforcers. When Knight went to prison, Reggie Wright Jr. became the leader of the rug enterprise. In the end of 1990 or the beginning of 1991, Davis visited Johnson at the Metropolitan Detention Center. Johnson told Davis that he was starting a record company uh, how can I say this? DR Records. That's what we're going. I'm gonna call it DR Records. Johnson then directed Davis to give approximately 80,000 in money that Davis owed Johnson from previous rug transactions to Johnson's girlfriend, Tasiah LNU, so that the money could be used to start DR Records. Oh wow. Tosia and Congo LNU, a black female believed to be the girlfriend of Michael Harris, called Harry O, then came to Davis's apartment in Irvine and picked up the money. Davis gave them the money in cash. Davis is also aware that Harris contributed money to start DR Records. He knows this from conversations with Johnson and Tasiah and Kango, although at the time Harris was referred to as Ken. Boy, I need like a freaking map for all these names. Uh Davis had met Harris and later realized that Ken was Harris when he saw a television news show which profiled the largest rug dealers in Los Angeles, one of them being Harris. Wait, you said you know who that is? Child, I have no idea who none of these people is. I know who Suge Knight is and I know who Keefe D is. I don't know nobody. So y'all got to enlighten me. When asked if a dispute ever later arose between Johnson and Knight, for example, over Knight not making payments to Johnson, uh, Davis responded that he knew of no disputes. The two remained friendly, and Davis heard that Johnson called Knight every day. You know what? Hold up. I got my phone right here because it is crazy that I don't know. Now, if they say their real names, then that. But if they talking about uh hold on. I don't. Hold up. Yeah, y'all gonna have to definitely tell me who is who, cause you gotta put me on. I know you do also. What? You talking to me? I don't know. I don't know who it is, Babs. You gotta tell me. Oh, it was a name change. Oh, it was a name change. Okay, I gotta get with you after this. I pick these cases because they're intriguing, but I don't be knowing who it is. But it's crazy because if it's a name change, then I'm a look. I'm a look. um. All right, let me see. All right, so when asked if a dispute ever arose between Johnson and Knight, for example, over Knight not making payments to Johnson, Davis responded that he knew of no disputes. The two remained friendly, and Davis heard that Johnson called Knight every day. Davis was a Davis was friendly with Knight until Knight and others beat his nephew Orlando Anderson in Las Vegas on the day that Tupac was unalived. In approximately 1995, Davis was invited to a party thrown by Knight. Boy, Suge Knight is whew. The party was at the party was at a house on Winnetka, which is near the Hidden Hills area of Los Angeles County. Knight had, and now Reggie White Jr. has associations with police officers who assist in the rug enterprise and even commit unalivings for Knight. Boy, Suge Knight had it like that. At the 1995 party, approximately 6 Compton Police Department officers and some Los Angeles Police Department officers were at the party providing security. Some of them wore jackets saying Right Way Security, a company owned by Reggie White Jr. Although Davis does not know the names of most of these officers, 2 of the Compton Police Department officers were Sergeant Reynolds and Lieutenant Reggie White Sr., the father of Reggie White Jr. Oh, man. Davis knows that Knight was has brought six. I'm sorry. Davis knows that Knight has brought cars for several of the officers. What? For example, Knight brought a Legend for Reynolds and a Lexus for Reggie Wright Jr. Davis also knows that the mayor of Compton, Omar Bradley, associated with Knight and the Blood Gang members. Davis knows that the mayor has attended parties with them. This man just telling all the business, ain't he? Who was that? Wait a minute. You know who was Dr. B? Oh, if it's who you wait a minute, hold up. What? But I'm on my phone right now because I'm looking this up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Maybe I'm thinking I know, but I don't know. Hold up. Boy, my kids in this gaming is getting on my nerves. I'm really gonna have to do some research. Hold on, because I thought, okay. Oh, child. Ooh. This, this is deep. See, this make me not even want to go back to Cali because I'd be like, child, what am I getting myself into? Ooh, and this runs deep. Then Davis also advised that the word on the street is that the Compton Police Department officers committed. Did I already read that? Oh no, they committed unalivings for Knight. Specifically, Davis has heard that Compton Police Department officers unalived Bruce Richardson approximately 2 years ago. Richardson was a rug dealer who owned a car wash at 52 52nd Street in Crenshaw. Richardson had gotten into a fight with Knight and beat Knight up shortly before he was unalived. Oh, what? Suge Knight got beat up? Concerning the current rug organization run by Reggie Wright Jr., one of the distribution locations is the Untouchables Auto Shop located at Alondra and Washington and Compton. The shop is owned by Melvin G. Ray, and Jim distribute Becky from the shop. Well, I only thought this was in movies. Individuals who work for Reggie White Jr. assisting in the distribution of Becky include Mob James, a member of the Mob Pyru Street Gang who is approximately 30 years old, Flip, who distributes from a shop located on Compton Boulevard in Harris, Bump Tree, a member of the Mob Street Gang, and Trayvon Lane, a member of the Mob Pyru Street Gang, and Kevin Woods. So, y'all, this is crazy that Keefe D, this is what he talked about. So he dropping everything. They are dropping. He's dropping everything in this. And this is 1998. God. Reggie White Jr.'s organization also include other members of the Mob Pyru, Treetops, and Fruit Town. That okay, never mind. And Fruit Town street gangs. Wright's organization supplies the Bounty Hunters and the Spook Town gangs. A couple of weeks before the unaliving of Tupac, Marcus, who lived in the Southside Crip neighborhood, was in a mall by himself. A number of Blood Street members attacked Marcus and began beating him. Orlando Anderson and others then approached the situation, observed that was happening, and then went to the aid of Marcus. They beat up the Blood Gang members. Boy, it's a lot of beating up. A lot of beat. She said it's 15 of them. God damn. What up, Heavy? What's up? What's up? Okay. At the and this is exhibit 1, so we still got to go back and read the motion. So at the Las Vegas casino on the day of Tupac Shakur's unaliving, the Blood Street Gang members and Knight saw Anderson and attacked him because of the previous incident at the mall. After the attack, Davis's girlfriend Paula Johnson, and Anderson's girlfriend Rashina went up to their hotel rooms at the Excalibur Casino. Wow. The room was in Anderson's name. The four had driven to Las Vegas in a Land Cruiser. Corey Edwards, Kevin Davis, Terry Brown, aka Bubble Up, that's a weird name, Big Dre, and Wynn had also traveled to Las Vegas. They stayed at the MGM casino. Davis repeatedly denied knowing who unalived Tupac. When asked to speculate, he said that he believed that Tupac was unalived by the Compton Police Department officers working for Knight. When asked what the motive would be for this, Davis responded that he heard that Tupac was talking about leaving DR Records. Marcus was pow-powed and unalived in April of 1997. When initially asked who unalived Marcus, Davis responded that Ace, a member of the Southside Compton Crips, had been convicted of unaliving. Ace and Marcus had not gotten along for a long period of time. Then someone in a van pow-powed up Ace's grandmother's house. Lord, not the grandma. People said that it was Davis and his people who had pow-powed up the house. Ace came to believe that the van used was Marcus's dark blue van and that Marcus had committed the pow-powing. Accordingly, Ace pow-powed and unalived Marcus. At the time he was unalived, Marcus was with Tommy, who is a basketball player who was later interviewed by detectives. In approximately 1993 or 1994, Zip introduced Davis to Notorious B.I.G. at Summer Jam. Davis associated with Notorious B.I.G. When he was in Los Angeles area. There was never any rug connection between Davis and Notorious. Oh my gosh. Davis was at the music event when Notorious B.I.G. was pow-powed and unalived. Prior to the unaliving, Davis observed females associated with DR Records at the party. They were Lachelle, a comedian for DR, and Jewel, a singer for DR. Davis believes they saw Notorious B.I.G. at the event and then they called Blood Gang members to come. Davis observed Reggie White Jr., DJ Quick, hey, DJ Quick, a performer for DR, Theo, a disc jockey, and about 10 or 11 Treetop and Fruit Town Blood Gang members arrived at the event. Boy, it's killing me with the Fruit Town. Davis told Notorious B.I.G. they were there to watch out. Shortly thereafter, Notorious B.I.G. was pow pow. Davis did not see the pow powing. Mm, let's see what you're saying. Reading your title, my first thought was, who? Oh, Lord. I can't with you, Heavy. He knows that was him, and Diddy's demands, and his cousin is a girl. Wait till we get into this motion because the I that's why I'm like I have to. That's why I'm reading the motion, but going to the exhibits because I want it to flow so I can gain understanding. Because I know some of it, but I didn't know how this it was this deep. And this is actually his statement that he put out in '98. So 2 years after. Um, let's see. Davis believes that Reggie White Jr. and the blood gang members associated with him unalive Notorious B.I.G. When asked who the individual was who unalived Notorious B.I.G. and who the composite drawing of the suspect looked like, Davis responded that the composite looked just like Reggie White Jr. And that is the what was his lieutenant's son. Concerning the two quadruple homicides in Compton in 1998, Davis heard that the first was committed by unknown Mexicans. Ooh. He heard that the second was committed by members of the Mac Mafia, a Long Beach gang. The gang members had been committing robberies of people. They were arrested by the police and are in custody. Concerning the feud between Al and Corey Edwards, Davis explained that this went back many years to. So it's like the officers are asking him about certain situations and he's just pretty much spilling the beans on what he knows. Davis explained that okay, many years to when the 107 Hoovers did a drive-by and pow-powed and wounded Owl and Terry Brown and pow-powed and unalived Lee and Lee's brother. One of the Hoovers was unalived, and Edwards went to his funeral. Owl, who is the cousin of Akili, was mad that Edwards would go to a funeral of someone who pow-powed him and unalived his friends, and there has been a feud between the two ever since. Yeah, that is weird, but that's weird. Concerning the death, unaliving of Orlando Anderson on May 29th, 1998, the day after Davis's federal arrest, Anderson and Al were together when they encountered three members of the Corner Pocket Crips, two whose last names were Stone, and Danny Yu, who was called Danny Stone. Prior to the encounter, Danny had been mouthing off negatively about Anderson. When the five met, Danny, let me see, pulled out a .25 caliber and started pow-powing. Anderson pulled out a pow-pow and pow-powed and unalive the other two Stones. What? As Anderson and Al then drove off, Anderson realized he had been hit by pow-pow fire and later was unalived. Danny is still not in police custody. How much is this? Okay, so Davis was asked to discuss all individuals out of state who supplied Becky to, and all local individuals he supplied that distributed Becky out of state. He initially advised that he had not distributed Becky out of state or to anyone he knew distributed out of state within the last 3 years. Okay. Oh, let me see what y'all saying. He knows that was okay. I got it. I know it all. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So in about 1991, Davis made a connection with Primo, also called the Short Man, who was a Colombian Becky supplier operating in Los Angeles area. Davis brought kilograms of Becky from Primo for 11,500 and 12,500 a kilogram. Good googly. Primo fronted Davis 200 kilograms of Becky at the time, which David would then sell in 2 to 3 weeks. Bab said, "You saying he doing a lot of lying? He just giving up information too willingly." Prior to being supplied by Primo, Davis was supplied by a supplier named Frank. Primo was Davis's supplier until about 1995 when Primo went back to Colombia. Davis knows that Primo had a ranch in another country in Central America, believed to be Guatemala. Until approximately 1993, Davis supplied large quantities of Becky to Little Rock, Arkansas. An individual called Fink worked for Davis and arranged for the transportation of Becky from the Los Angeles area to Little Rock. Little Rock, Arkansas. What? Rodney Blackman and Kevy Davis were at Fink's rug location in Little Rock when the police raided it several years ago. This reminds me of that show Ozark where they pick, I don't know if they was in Missouri or if they was in Arkansas, but it's you never Little Rock. I'm side eyeing Little Rock now, even though that was years ago. On one occasion, Primo fronted Davis 60 kilograms of Becky. Davis then gave the Becky to Fink, who arranged for it to be transported to Little Rock. The Compton police intercepted the shipment. Davis owed Primo for the loss Becky, but Primo told Davis to only pay him for half of the 60 kilograms. Davis accordingly paid Primo approximately $700,000. Good Lord. Davis last supplied Fink in approximately 1993. He believes that Fink still distributes Becky to Little Rock. Fink has a house in Rialto. I think that's how you say it. And I'm about to say this is 1998, so I'm pretty sure things have changed. Until about 3 years ago, Davis supplied Corey Edwards, who was supplying all over Ohio. At one point in approximately 1993, Edwards got into some trouble, and Edwards' Cleveland's rug contact, Joe Bubbs, started coming out to Los Angeles area to acquire Becky directly from Davis. Bubbs, who is a resident of Cleveland, Ohio, is currently doing 70 months in federal prison. When Bubs came to Los Angeles to obtain the Becky, he came with George, his rug carrier, who was about 50 years old. Man, you need to be retired on a boat somewhere. George would drive the Becky back to Cleveland in the van. These motherfuckers is bold. What? Davis broke off the rug relationship with Bubs after he believed that Bubs and George were working with the FBI to make a case on Davis. On this occasion, in approximately 1993, Bubs and George came to Los Angeles area to acquire Becky. Before delivering the Becky, Davis observed several cars surveilling him, which he believed was the FBI. He did not go through with the rug transaction. Davis has never supplied Becky to Greg Brooks. Davis knew Brooks was distributing to Baltimore. Samuel Lopez became Davis' main supplier after Primo went to Colombia. Davis also began selling smaller quantities at this time. Samuel Lopez's brother, Herman Lopez, is currently in federal custody. Davis has heard that Samuel Lopez went to Mexico after the FBI attempted to arrest him. George Lopez, who is about 16 or 17 years old, used to answer the phone for Samuel Lopez, and I hope it ain't the George Lopez we know. Oh, probably not. This is 1993. Davis at first denied any rug connection with an individual referred to as Dupree, who lives in Palmdale. Davis initially said that he was trying to start a music company to sell CDs, and for this reason was in contact with Dupree. Please don't tell me that's Jermaine Dupri. Is that Jermaine Dupri, y'all? Diddy was working for the FBI. At this point, I'm thinking a whole bunch of people was working for the FBI. Agents then played for Davis a tape of the intercepted telephone conversation between Davis and Oh, okay, never mind. Boy, I had to keep reading. Ezel Dupree Hall III, which occurred on June 24th, 1997. Davis stated that the call was between him and Dupree and acknowledged that during the call, Dupree was saying that he had people coming from out of state to the Los Angeles area to purchase Becky. Davis denied knowing where the buyers from out of state were coming from. Oh, all right. So agents then showed up. Well, agents then showed Davis the following Department of Motor Vehicle photographs. So they showed a photograph of Samuel Lopez. Davis identified him as Samuel Lopez, who had been Davis's Becky supplier. They showed him a photo of Corey Edwards, and Davis once again identified Corey. He showed him a photograph of Ezell Dupree Hall, and he had identified him as such. Davis was again instructed to tell the truth. Davis did supply Becky to Dupree. Dupree had an out of state buyer in Kentucky and would bring suitcases of money to Davis to purchase 8 to 13 kilograms of Becky at a time. Davis would then take the money to Lopez, acquire the Becky, and give it to Dupree. Oh, some of them name are being. Ooh. Concerning the telephone call played by the agents, the call concerned Dupree and Davis discussing waiting on the Kentucky buyer coming to Los Angeles to purchase Becky. Dupree had already had conversations with the Kentucky buyer as to the price that the buyer would pay for the Becky. This transaction eventually occurred after the Kentucky purchaser arrived in Los Angeles wanting 11 kilograms of Becky. Dupree then gave Davis approximately $200,000 in cash. Davis went to Palmdale to get the money and met Dupree at the Holiday Inn on Palmdale Boulevard. Davis got the room. Boy, this man up here snitching. The day that Davis picked up the money, he got the 11 kilos of Becky from Samuel Lopez. Dupree then sent one of his rug workers called Hammer, a black male about 50 years old, to pick up the 11 grams from Davis. Davis believes the buyer from Kentucky was called Sporty. He was a light skinned black male about 29 or 30 years with crazy hair and gold teeth. He giving them descriptions. Dupree is a member of the Carver Park Street Gang. Davis has been supplying him since about 1996. At that time, Dupree was a middleman for local buyers. He then became a middleman for Kentucky buyer. The Kentucky buyer paid out of state prices for the Becky, and Dupree and Davis would split up this out of state profit. The Kentucky buyer would pay approximately $29,000 or $30,000 per kilo of Becky. Oh, whoa. Dupree is a music producer and has music studio called K5, which is located in Palmdale on Palmdale Boulevard near 3rd Street. Dupree drives rental cars. Hammer, who is a rug courier for Dupree, is a contractor. Regarding 3 intercepted telephone conversations on June 20th, 1997, previously paid for Davis. In the first 2 calls, Davis is talking to Sean Williams, who is called Wood. In these calls, when 2 for 2 is said, they may be talking about playing Nintendo. Davis is not a party to the conversation in the 3rd call. Davis would front Becky to Williams, generally in 9 ounces or half of kilo quantities. Williams would then sell the Becky and bring the money to Davis. So prior to 1990, the leader of the Nutty Block Crips was Woodrat, a brother of Sean Williams. Since he went to jail in 1990, the leaders of the Nutty Block Crips have been Sean Williams and Jesse, who is believed to be referring as Jesse Barker. Another brother of Sean Williams is Danny Williams, who is known to be an informant for Baker, a Compton Police Department officer. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold up. Okay. Girl, I know everybody like, wow. I'm wowing with y'all. Cassandra, you do know who they are for. Wait. Cassandra, you do know who they are for with the judge. But I have to, after I read this, I'm literally going to have to print this out and do some highlighting and do some researching because this is crazy. Because informants, I've been hearing that word for a lot in the past couple of months, man. And this, okay. Do you know who they are working for with the and see that is the thing. So who they working for? Because I'm thinking at the end of the day, see, okay, when I started, like before I even started doing this YouTube stuff, I would hear bits and pieces of it. So anytime they bring up Suge Knight, that's who I always thought was the head of everything, like Suge Knight. That was, had police officers working for him and anybody else because he was just a scary person. But if it's somebody that is above Suge Knight, then I have no clue. Let me see. After Samuel Lopez, and you know what? That's crazy. The police department, though. Oh my gosh. So after Samuel Lopez fled to Mexico, Davis was supplied. Oh, she said nope. Okay. Now hold on. I'm gonna keep reading. Now, if we saying no, it can't be Diddy because Diddy was on the whatchamacallit. Let me ask you this: are they on the West Coast? After Samuel Lopez fled to Mexico, Davis was supplied with Becky by TJ, a Mexican supplier. Davis believes that TJ is still a supplier of Becky. Let me see how much. Okay. Ooh, this is the last page. When asked about the nature of his drug relationships with Rodney Blackman, Davis responded that sometimes Davis would have Becky when Blackman did not, and Davis would supply it to Blackman, and other times Blackman would have Becky when Davis did not. And, oh, in Mexico. In Me- Girl, wait, in Mexico? I'm about to say, you know what came up? El Chapo. El Chapo. When would find rug customer? Oh wait, hold on, I missed the whole thing. Let me see. When Blake would supply to the Robert, a Mexican in Paramount, supplied Blackman. When would find rug customers for Davis? When she Babs, you keep telling me I know. You gonna have to hit me up. He's a juggler. Okay, let me get through this, and I'm gonna have to because is it somebody? So it ain't El Chapo, and you said it's a juggler. Okay, hold on. Let me get through this. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do some homework if I don't know. Concerning the vehicle stop of Davis in 1997, on that day, Davis had met Blackman at Samuel Lopez's rug location at Willowbrook in Compton. Lopez told them to come back in 30 minutes to pick up the Becky. Davis then got into the van with Blackman, and as they went to Taco Bell, he realized they were under surveillance. They were subsequently stopped by LAPD. At the police station, a red-haired LAPD officer told Davis to stay out of Watts. Davis followed his order and stopped using Blackman's residence. After being released from custody, Davis and Blackman returned to Lopez's rug location and picked up 9 kilo of Becky. On a subsequent day, Davis observed that Blackman was being followed by law enforcement. Davis denied that he was the leader of the Southside Compton Crips, and Darnell Brim, who was recently arrested, is the leader of the gang. Oh my gosh. Babs, you about to have me going all in circles. I'm thinking about there's like so many people not so many people that I know, but if you say he out of Mexico, right? Um, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Y'all, I'm on my phone. Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't be listening, but you know what? Uh oh, I have no that is why he lying. Think about it what makes everyone scared and they will unlock. No, and that's the crazy. So a lot of people don't know, but my boyfriend is Hispanic. He's Mexican Honduran, and so like I had a conversation about because me back in the days, bro. When they say drug cartels, like I really wasn't. I thought like. I'm telling y'all, I'm book smarts, but when it comes to street smarts, I'm oblivious to it. And so I never really thought that the cartel and stuff like that was real until we like literally had a conversation and he started telling me stuff and I was like, are you for real? Babs keep telling everybody they we know, like, child, you gonna have to Instagram me, girl. And then I'm gonna be like, oh, all right. So that was let me see. That was where did we leave off? Oh, hold on. Cause we ain't we just made it past the freaking footnote. Question about okay, so that was exhibit one. All right, so now we're picking back up from the motion. Wait, wait, you said there you go there. I don't even know what I said. I don't even know what I said. I done forgot. Oh my gosh. I just said it. I just girl, oh my gosh. So between what I just read, Babs, you gonna have to type it in there because hell, I done forgot. Hell, I can't remember what the hell I said 2 minutes ago. Babs in here killing me, y'all. All right. All right. So, April 20th, 1999, Mr. Davis was again interviewed by the feds after uh Aisha, what is it? Assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell obtained permission from his attorney Edie File. The interview was conducted shortly after the shooting unaliving of Orlando Anderson, who is the nephew of Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis identified the individual that unalived Mr. Anderson. Mr. Davis also stated, Mr. when you was talking about with your boyfriend. Oh crap. Now I have to remember. I wait. Now I have to remember who the hell I said. I gotta remember who the hell I said. I think once I finish this, then it'll come to my mind, and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, Babs, I remember what you said," and I think this is who I said. Heavy like, no, I'm lost, baby. We're trying to figure out who everybody worked for, so it's somebody bigger than who we talking about right now, and this is crazy. They from Mexico and they the biggest whatchamacallit. Well, you said El Chapo. Wait, is it delayed? I think you said no to that. But if it's El Chapo. Oh no, you said what me and my boyfriend said. I'm gonna have to call and ask him. Then he gonna be like, All right, let me get back. Let me get back to this. All right. So Mr. Davis also stated that Mr. Anderson's unaliving had nothing to do with DR records. Mr. Davis stated that Mr. Anderson was not involved in the pow powing of Mr. Shakur. Mr. Davis did discuss that Mr. Anderson was attacked by Tupac in Las Vegas the night of Tupac's pow powing. Nevertheless, the decision was made to retaliate in Compton since there were so many police around in Las Vegas during the Mike Tyson fight that night. Mr. Davis described how Mr. Anderson testified at Mr. Knight's probation violation hearing since there was no extended disagreement between the Southside Crips and the DR record, and Mr. Knight had provided Mr. Anderson's money to testify on his behalf. Wait, what? So Mr. Knight provided Mr. Anderson money to testify on his behalf. You said what Mexican is everyone scared of? That's the question. Hell, I done forgot who the fuck I said. Let me see. Hold up. This will refresh my memory. Mexican drug cartel. Let me see. Cause child. Wait. Oh, I said my boyfriend is Mexican Honduran. That's what I said. And then what I say after that? Man, they got so many. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back because child, Pablo Escobar. Was it Pablo Escobar? I said it again? Pablo Escobar? Babs, why you just don't type it? I feel like I'm in school right now. I feel like I'm in school. Damn it, Heavy. Get Babs. Hold on, I probably need to. I probably. Hey, is it Pablo Escobar? Let me know because I'm about to write this down. So, no, she said I just said it. Okay, here's the thing. I said no. Okay, so my conversation with my boy, I just said my boyfriend is Mexican Honduran. That part. But then I started searching. So it ain't Pablo Escobar. It ain't let me see. It ain't El Chapo. I know these people on the lives like, what this girl? You have called them out 3 times. Who am I calling out? I'm about to give up. I'm like, the Mexicans be scared of the other damn Mexicans. Hell. Oh my gosh, I'm crying right now. Oh, wait. And now that I'm thinking, I think I wait, who did I say? Nope. I'm thinking about that movie with Johnny Depp. If it comes to me, then I'm gonna blurt it out. What did you say after that? I don't remember. My kids be asking me what did I say and I don't remember. Y'all be cracking me up. You thought they wasn't real. I thought they wasn't real. Oh, okay. I don't know what, but let me remember that phrase, and then maybe I'll down the line I'm gonna remember. Uh, I thought they weren't real. Okay. I think I think my memory jogged. Okay. Let me do some reading and then it might pop back up in my head cuz now I remember the conversation but I don't remember what I said. um okay. Mr. Let me see. He gave him money. Da, 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 da. Okay, so Mr. Davis stated that the Compton Police Department, Reggie White Jr., was responsible for spreading the rumor that Mr. Anderson had pow-powed Tupac simply because of the altercation between the two men after the Mike Tyson fight. Oh my gosh, I hate that I have to keep going through these darn documents. So what is Exhibit 2 then? So Exhibit 2 is the Federal Bureau of it. Oh, so this is the second transcript of when he was in so when the FBI, it's crazy how they put this as confidential. So this was a year uh 1999. So Dwayne Keefe Davis, once again, was interviewed by agents of the Federal Correction Institute in Safford, Arizona. Prior to the interview, Assistant United States Attorney Michael Terrell had received permission from Davis' attorney, Atty, for the agents to conduct the interview. Davis was not advised. Oh, wait. Davis was not advised of his Miranda rights during the interview. Davis requested confidentiality, and this FD 302 document should not be disseminated outside of the FBI, in which obviously it was. During the interview, Davis provided the following information. This man is a snitch. Concerning the shooting, concerning the powering unaliving of Orlando Anderson in 1998, Davis has heard that Daniel Smith, who people call Danny Stone, was involved in the powering and was the person who unalived Anderson. Prior to the day of the powering, Smith going around telling rumors about Anderson and mouthing off about Anderson. Didn't we just read this? I could have sworn this is what we read already. And this is the same thing. Okay, so he's saying the same thing. All right, he mouthed it off and about Owl, da 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 da. Smith is a member of the Corner Pocket Crips and is about 33 to 34 years old. Michael Stone was the leader of the Corner Pocket Crips. After the powing, Owl was charged with manslaughter by the Compton Police Department. At Owl's preliminary hearing, Michael Stone's mother told the prosecutor and judge that they had the wrong person and that Smith and not Owl should have been charged. Um, Davis believes that Anderson's death the day after the FBI arrest of Davis and others was just a coincidence. Davis is not aware of any motive for why the Blood Gang members or individuals associated with DR Records would have wanted to unalive Anderson. Anderson was not involved in the powering death of Tupac, and neither Davis nor his group unalived Tupac or Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G. Davis does not know who unalived the two rap stars. He believes that either individuals from New York associated with Puffy Combs or individuals associated with DR Records could have unalived Tupac, and that individuals associated with DR Records unalived Wallace. The conflict between Davis and Marion Knight and the conflict between the Southside Compton Crips and the Compton Blood Pyru gangs began as a result of the mall altercation between Marcus Nunn, Orlando Anderson, and other members of the Southside Compton Crips with the Compton Blood gang members, including Trevon Lane. This altercation led to the later assault on Orlando Anderson in Las Vegas casino, during which Knight, the Blood Gang members, and others associated with DR Records beat and kicked Anderson. Davis and Anderson were upset after the casino attacked on Anderson, but they were not going to strike back with so many police officers around. They would have struck back once they returned to Compton. I do that. He knows what happened. He's just trying to save his behind. There's somebody bigger than him. After Tupac was unalive shortly after the casino attack on Anderson, there was a war between the Southside Compton Crips and the Compton Blood gangs. During the war, Davis's group lost Bobby Finch. Also, Darnell Brim was pow-powed. Davis believes that the Compton Police Department spread the word that Anderson and Davis's group had unalived Tupac. Also, people speculated that this is what happened because of the circumstances of the attack on Anderson shortly before the shooting. So are they saying it was just like he was in a crossfire? Like, I don't get it. Davis is aware that Anderson testified favorably for Knight at Knight's probation violation hearing. Davis is unaware of Anderson receiving any payment for his testimony and is also unaware of any subsequent requests or demands by Anderson for money from Knight. In the course of providing the above information, Davis advised that Knight's uncle was also in custody of the at the Safford Federal Correctional Institute, or if that's what that is. Davis further advised that he did not want any trouble with Knight or his people and just wanted to serve his time peacefully until release. Ooh, you said just by talking about the rugs, he's a I do. Yep. You right. He's saying way too fucking much. Well, I'm at hour. Yeah, he's saying way too much. The agents then showed Davis a California Department of Motor Vehicle photographs of James Anthony Welch with the identifying information covered up and asked Davis if he knew who the person in the photograph was. Davis then stated that the person in the photograph was called Rick James. Davis then immediately further stated that the word on the street was that this person had unalived FL, a rap music promoter in Inglewood. The unaliving of FL was ordered by Knight. Knight and FL had agreed to a $150,000 record deal. Knight paid FL the $150,000, but FL did not produce the record. Knight then had Rick James unalive FL. Oh my. Nick also ordered Knight. Knight also ordered the unaliving of three rap artists unalived in Los Angeles in the same time period. These were the artists who were supposed to have performed on the records to be produced by FL. Rick James is a Treetop Blood Gang member. He recently cooperated against Pooh on a federal PCP case. Because of his cooperation, no one is dealing with him anymore. Davis was asked to provide further information regarding his previous information regarding Compton Police Department officers committing unalivings for Knight. Davis advised that specifically he had heard that Frederick Reynolds participated in the unaliving of Bruce Richardson. The Compton Police Department executed two search warrants on Davis's location in connection with the rap unalivings. The first was in October 1996 at the Burr Street address, and the second was in May 1997 at the California Street address. Reynolds came to the California Street address during the second raid. Davis stated all of Compton PD is corrupt. Ooh. Davis explained that numerous officers there have an affiliation with Knight and the Blood Street gangs. Davis denied having any association with any law enforcement officers who protected him or his rug organization. Davis does not know the names of most of the law enforcement officers who he has observed associated with Knight and the Bloods. The only two Compton police officers we already know was Reginald Wright Sr. and Frederick Reynolds. He has not heard any information regarding corruptions by the chief of the Compton Police Department. Let's see. Reginald Wright Jr. became the leader of Knight's criminal organization after Knight went to jail. Davis believed so that's crazy. So your father works for the police department and the son becomes the leader of a criminal organization? That's wild. Davis believes that Reginald White Jr. still controls the rug trade in the northern part of Compton. Reginald White Jr. tries to be hands off in conducting his rug business, having his people physically take possession of and distribute the rugs rather than handling the rugs himself. Davis advised that this was the manner in which he tried to operate his rug organization before his federal arrest. The agent showed Davis a photograph of an identified male who had been referred to by other persons interviewed as Ponytail. Pootie Tang. No, I'm just playing. Davis advised that he did not know who the person in the photo was. Davis was then asked if he had heard of the supplier called Ponytail. Davis answered that he had heard that there was a big supplier of Becky called Ponytail who had supplied Knight and other Blood Gang members. Davis was also heard that Ponytail, who is believed to be Mexican, would distribute Becky 500 kilograms at a time. Oh yeah, they don't play. He went underground for snitching. I bet he did. You talking about Keefe D? Because I ain't never heard this man. The police gang in California. The police gang in California is Mexican. Oh dang. Yeah, I noticed the California Mexicans are truly different than the than Texas Mexicanos over here. I'm like, Lord, man, this is deep. Knight and then Reginald Wright Jr. were supplied with Becky by All Star Tire and also by Ponytail. The main guy at All Star Tire involved in rug distribution is Gray. The main members of Reginald Wright's organization are believed to be Buntry Al, Trayvon, Kevin Woods, Fink, and Zeke. Zeke or Zeke, a Blood, and Fink, a Crip, are rug partners. I've never seen that. I've never seen. You said them police gangs is very dangerous. That's crazy. What? Damn. Now look, a Blood and a Crip are rug partners. In that time, and were partners prior to Davis's Little Rock Becky shipment that was intercepted. After Davis stopped supplying the two, they then began to supply by night. Fink had the connections with Davis. Zeke, or Zeke, however you want to say it, had the connections with Knight, and Zeke hangouts at the Mob Pyru hangout location at Stockton and Orchard and Compton. He at this point, this man is just a snitch. He's sung like a canary. Davis has heard that the shop formerly called Untouchables has moved and that the Mexicans are now selling from the location. Both G Ray and Jim, who used to distribute rugs at the shop, are both members of the Spooktown Crips. Since the FBI arrest in May of 1998, people are scared to conduct narcotic activities in the Jordan Downs housing projects. Oh my gosh. All right, let me write this down. Exhibit 3 starts at 27. All right, let's go on. So that was his second interview with the Popos. Well, the FBI, I shouldn't say the Popos. All right, next page. On December 18, 2008, Mr. Davis was interviewed again regarding the Tupac Shakur pow powing. Present at the interview were Greg Kading, William Holcomb, Darren Dupree, all with the Los Angeles Police Department, and FBI Special Agent Jeff Bennett. You said ponytail is nice looking. I'm gonna have to look him up. Child, let me pull it up. See, my boyfriend in the oil field 5 hours away. So I gotta see what this man look like. The three LAPD and FBI agents were part of a task force to solve the shootings of rappers Notorious B.I.G., also known as Biggie Smalls, legal name Christopher Wallace. The task force, through a sophisticated criminal investigation, obtained sufficient evidence that would prove Mr. Davis was the leader of the Southside Crips, and his gang was responsible for the distribution of over 360 kilos of Becky and PCP. Mr. Davis provided 3 interviews to obtain immunity from prosecution. The final interview were solely questions regarding the Tupac pow powing, which Mr. Davis was also provided immunity from prosecution. She said, I probably won't find him. Girl, I'm about to scour this internet. All right, so let's look at so this is the third interview with LAPD and the FBI officer. So let's see what he said on this one. So report of investigation, and this was prepared 2009. So this is the interview regarding the unaliving of Tupac. What to say? All right, details. On December 18, 2008, at approximately 10:30 a.m., investigators met with Dwayne Davis at Davis's attorney's office. Davis reviewed reports containing prior interviews Davis had completed. Davis pointed out several discrepancies in the prior reports, admitting he had not been entirely truthful about specific facts, including the circumstances surrounding the unaliving of Shakur. Mm. Davis was advised. Okay, so all right, let me just keep reading. Davis was advised the purpose of the interview was to correct Davis' previously false statements as they related to the unaliving of Tupac and provide investigators with factual details. Davis provided the following explanation. In the early 1990s, Davis associated with Flint. Flint is known to investigators as Flintard Coleman. Coleman and Davis occasionally played against each other during neighborhood baseball games. Coleman was affiliated with the Santana Block Crips, and Davis was a member of the Southside Crips. The gang teams would compete for bottles of champagne. It was during these games that Coleman introduced Davis to Zip. Zip is known to investigators as Eric Martin. Martin would occasionally play for Coleman's team. Davis recalled Coleman beginning his rug activities around this time. Davis, who was also involved in narcotic sales, traveled to New York with Coleman to visit Martin. The purpose of the trip was to conduct a multi-kilogram Becky deal with Martin. Davis, who was providing the Becky, stayed at Martin's house in Jersey City. Coleman acted as a broker between Davis and Martin. After Coleman was arrested in Florida, Davis conducted a PCP transaction with Martin and began to socialize with Martin when Martin would come to Los Angeles. Baps is killing me because he was lying his lazy ass off. In or around 1992, Martin introduced Davis to Sean Puffy Combs. Davis recalls the introduction occurring at the Paradise nightclub on Santa Monica Boulevard. After speaking with Combs, Davis agreed to allow Combs to use his 1964 Chevy in a music video. The video featured the artist Usher. After the vehicle was damaged in the production of the video, Combs paid $2,500 to have it repaired. Davis recalls Martin visiting Los Angeles on a monthly basis. Davis recalls meeting Combs socially on several occasions. Most of the meetings between Davis and Combs occurred at Greenblatt's restaurant on Sunset Boulevard. However, Combs became hesitant to visit Los Angeles because of the ongoing hostilities with Marion Suge Knight, and the hostilities were exacerbated after Knight appeared on stage during an award show in New York and publicly humiliated Combs. Oh, I didn't even know that was happening. She said, "Now he get to some truth." Oh, snap! Ooh. During the 1995 music festival known as the Summer Jam, Knight approached Davis and asked Davis how he know Combs. Davis told Knight the same way I know you. Davis next recalled that Knight's associate and bodyguard Jai Robles was pow-powed in Atlanta. This incident occurred on September 23rd, 1995. Davis heard rumor that Wolf had unalive Robles. Wolf is known to investigators to be Anthony Jones. Jones was an associated oh, Jones was an associate of Combs. However, Jones is now deceased. On a future occasion, Davis and Martin were together in Compton, California when Combs called Martin on his cell phone. Combs requested to speak with Davis and asked Davis if he thought it was safe for Combs to come to Los Angeles for a concert. Combs expressed his concerns about Knight and possible retaliation related to the Robles murder, unaliving. Davis advised Combs that if he would provide Davis with 40 or 50 tickets to the concert, Davis could provide an entourage. Combs agreed, and Davis and his crew, in fact, attended the concert in support of Combs. Davis noticed that Knight and his associates did not attend the concert. Davis recalls that the concert taking place in Anaheim, California, hope I'm saying that, Anaheim, California. It was at this event that Combs began to solicit Davis to unalive Knight and Tupac. Ooh, wait, that's Dave. Dave, that is Dave's cousin. Combs asserted something to the effect of, "I'll give you I'll give you anything for those dudes' heads." Davis stated that Wendell Prince, Orlando Anderson, Corey Edwards, Michael Duro, and Devontae Lee may have heard Combs' statement. I'm blown away about this because y'all, I've been trying to find the records because they've been making um like not headlines, but they've been doing news articles about Sean Combs being named, and I couldn't find nothing. But this right here kind of deep. After the concert, Combs, along with Davis and members of his entourage, went to a party at a hotel. Davis thought the hotel may have been a Hilton. The party took place inside of a suite. Davis recalls, among other, Combs, Martin, Andre, Harold, and D. Mac, known to investigators as Darius Rogers, to be present. In an adjoining room were additional security personnel hired by Combs. Combs claimed they were Navy SEALs. Prior to the Anaheim concert event, Davis and his associates had attended another concert in San Diego with Combs. However, at this event, Davis' entourage was much smaller, approximately 12 members, including Martin Anderson and DeAndre Smith. It was during this event that Davis met Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace, for the first time. Additionally, Davis had met with Combs and Wallace in Las Vegas during the boxing match. Davis believes it may have been Evander Holyfield Buster Douglas fight. The fight was earmarked by a fan who had parachuted into the boxing ring, creating a melee, whatever that is. Davis and his crew stayed at the Treasure Island Casino and attended a party hosted by Irvin Magic Johnson. Davis does not recall any discussion about Knight or Tupac at these events. At a later date, Dwayne Davis, Eric Martin, Corey Edwards, Sean Combs, and others met at the Greenblatt's restaurant in Hollywood. While at the restaurant, Combs summoned Davis into a downstairs area. Combs again told Davis Combs, needed to get rid of Knight and Tupac. Combs offered Davis $1 million to handle the problem. Davis remembers Combs being very afraid of Knight. Now, mind y'all, this statement was given in 2009. On the day before Shakur or Tupac's unaliving, Davis, Martin, and others met again at the Greenblatt's restaurant and departed for Las Vegas to view a Mike Tyson fight. Davis drove a rented Buick Century. Martin drove a Mercedes Benz, and Davis' brother, Kevin Davis, drove a rented van. Corey Edwards and Tracy Session drove in the van with Kevin Davis. Davis went to the Las Vegas to view the fight and was not anticipating the confrontation with Knight and Tupac. Davis stayed at the Monte Carlo Casino in a room reserved under his wife's, Paula Clemens' name. Oh my gosh. The following day, Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith arrived in Las Vegas driving the rented Cadillac. The vehicle was rented by Brown's mother in law. Anderson stayed at the Excalibur Casino. And you know what's crazy? Because I'm just not getting what you're saying, Babs, because he mentioned twice in the previous FBI interviews that he didn't know anything about the unaliving. Now you coming out with the full story day by day. After acquiring fight tickets from a scalper and meeting up with Martin, the group went to the MGA casino to witness the bout. After the fight, Kevin Davis, Terrence Brown, and others went to get something to eat. Anderson was not with Davis due to the fact that his seating location was separate during the fight. While at the restaurant, Davis was informed that Anderson had been assaulted. Davis recalled Martin being in a lobby area with a friend, Richie Rich, and other New York associates. Martin asked Davis, "Do you need some help?" Martin advised Davis that he had a pow pow available. Davis also encountered another associate of his, Anthony Treggs, who offered to help Davis retaliate against Anderson's assailants. Davis informed Martin and Treggs that his crew would handle the problem. Oh, so you lied about a whole bunch, because this is where his Orlando Anderson, where he was getting beat up. All right. So after encountering Martin in the lobby, Martin and Davis went to the Martin's vehicle in the parking lot. Inside Martin's Mercedes Benz, Davis observed female rap artist Inga Marchand, Foxy Brown. Martin directed Brown to exit the car so that Davis and Martin could talk privately. Davis sat in the front passenger seat while Martin occupied the driver's seat. Martin removed a pow pow from a compartment in the armrest area. Martin gave the firearm to Davis. Davis observed the weapon to be a 40 caliber Glock Pow Pow. Hold on, let me turn my night light off on my computer right quick. That means it's 9 o'clock. Okay. Martin encouraged, advising it was a perfect opportunity to get Knight and Tupac. Yeah, so Foxy was there. Davis was aware that Knight and Shakur or Tupac were expected to attend an event at Knight's nightclub, the 600 or the 662 Club. Davis got into the rental van with his brother, Wendell Prince, Corey Edwards, Tracy Session, and an unknown passenger from Detroit, Michigan. Meanwhile, Orlando Anderson, DeAndre Smith, and Terrence Brown were in the rented Cadillac. Anderson told Davis he had a pow pow secreted under the hood of the Cadillac. Oh, secreted. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. The group drove together to the 662 Club looking for Knight and Tupac. While at the club, Edwards became apprehensive, causing Davis to be uncomfortable around Edwards. After waiting for approximately 15 minutes, oh, you know Foxy Brown? Oh, that's dope. After waiting for approximately 15 minutes, the group became impatient and decided to go to the liquor store to purchase alcohol. At the liquor store, Davis exited the van and got into the Cadillac. Davis advised he sat in the front passenger seat. Brown drove. Smith sat behind Brown, and Anderson sat behind Davis. After leaving the liquor store, the occupants of the Cadillac observed female pedestrians yelling, "Tupac, Tupac," at a passing convoy of vehicles. Brown negotiated a U turn and drove after the convoy. Upon reaching the convoy, the passengers of the Cadillac began scan the occupants of the convoy vehicles, attempting to locate Knight and Tupac. Brown pulled along the passenger side of the vehicle containing Tupac and Knight, causing DeAndre Smith to be in the best position to pow pow. Davis handed the handgun he received from Martin to Smith. Smith expressed reluctance to pow pow, so Anderson grabbed the pow pow from Smith and began pow powing at Knight's vehicle. Now, this is very detailed. You can't be lying about this. While Anderson was pow powing, Davis recalls Knight looking directly at Davis. And I bet you the fear. Davis recalls Shakur trying to escape the line of fire by getting in the back seat. As Brown drove away from the scene, a vehicle attempted to follow the suspect's vehicle. Davis believes the car was a Sebring or something similar driven to occupy and occupied by females. Anderson pow powed at the pursuing vehicle, causing it to cease. Brown then drove the group into a parking lot near the carriage house. The group exited the car and Anderson placed the pow pow on top of the front passenger tire. While the group walked to the Monte Carlo casino, they observed a passing ambulance, which they presumed was en route to the hospital from the pow powing scene. The group then spent the evening partying at the Monte Carlo casino. That is savage. That you go pow pow a whole car up and then you go party. Why hasn't he said anything about the Tupac track? Ooh, because they made it seem like they just drove off. Wait, Keefe was in the car and handed his oh. Oh, Keefe was in the car. Ooh, okay. Gotcha. His cousin is deceased now that well, hey. I wonder where he went to. Definitely ain't upstairs. The following day, Davis said Terrence Brown returned to the Cadillac to ensure no casings were present. Davis, his wife Paula Clemens, Orlando Anderson, and Anderson's girlfriend returned to Los Angeles in the Buick Century. During the morning hours, Davis received a telephone call from Martin. Martin requested Davis to meet him at the restaurant in Los Angeles. Davis recalled the restaurant being a hot wing place at Melrose Boulevard and La Brea Avenue. While at the restaurant, Martin told Davis that Combs had called Martin and asked, "Was that us?" Martin said he also received a phone call from Faith Evans about the pow-powing. Evans is known to investigators to have been the wife of Christopher Wallace at the time. Davis asked Martin when he would receive compensation for the pow-powing. Davis asked Martin when I already said that. Martin told Davis he would get the money when he returns to New York. Additionally, while at the restaurant, Combs called Martin again. Martin then handed the phone to Davis. Combs again inquired, "Was that us?" Davis recalled Combs sounding elated about the situation. Yep, that's who they did it for. Davis recalled holding a gang meeting and disclosing the members of his gang what happened in Las Vegas. The meeting took place in Cerritos at the regional park on Bellflower Boulevard. Davis continued to make efforts to collect the hit money from Martin. Eventually, Davis arranged to meet with Martin at the Roxbury Club on Sunset Boulevard. Darius Rogers and Fleetwood were also at the location with Martin. Martin and Davis spoke privately. Martin explained that Combs had not yet given him the money to give to Davis. This meeting took place approximately 1 month after Tupac's unaliving. Eventually, Davis was arrested pursuant to an unrelated narcotics investigation and went to prison. Since Davis' release from prison, he had no contact with Martin or Combs. During the summer of 2008, Davis encountered Darius Rogers in the San Fernando Valley at a 76 gas station off Topanga Boulevard. Davis advised Rogers that he needed to get in touch with Combs. Rogers informed Davis that Combs had given the contract money to Martin. However, Martin kept that money. According to Rogers, Combs and Martin had a falling out over the matter. Davis also recalled hearing that Martin had kept the money from another New York drug dealer named Gregory Kane. This conversation occurred sometime in 2005 while Kane and Davis were together at Kevin Davis's house in Corona, California. Diddy, Mr. Diddy. Now so that third interview, that was the true story. That was the true story. All right, let's finish this up. We on the home stretch, I think. Hold up. All right. So Mr. Davis stated that following the December 2008 interview, Sean Puffy Combs solicited Mr. Davis to unalive Suge Knight and Tupac for $1 million. Mr. Davis went to the Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas on September 6, 1996. Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith also came to Las Vegas in a rented white Cadillac to see Mike Tyson fight. Orlando Anderson was assaulted by Tupac and other members of Tupac's entourage after the Tyson fight. Eric Zip Martin, an associate of Puffy Combs, provided Mr. Davis with a pow-pow to exact revenge on Tupac for beating Mr. Anderson received. Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Mr. Davis all got into the white Cadillac and searched for Tupac. When the group found Tupac and Suge Knight, Davis passed the pow pow to the back seat to DeAndre Smith, who was reluctant to shoot, and so Orlando grabbed the pow pow and shot the vehicle that Tupac was in because he got mad because he got beat up by Tupac and them. Mr. Davis never received the money from Zip Martin or Sean Combs that was promised. On September 9, 2029, Mr. Davis was interviewed once again by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police regarding the Tupac pow-powing. Present at the interview was Detective Long, Las Vegas Metropolitan PD, Detective Darren Dupree at the LAPD. Mr. Davis was represented by his attorney. Detective Long repeatedly told Mr. Davis that he would not be arrested for his involvement with pow-powing Tupac. Specifically, Detective Long just wanted for his investigation the same information that was given to Detective Dupree in the task force interview on December 18th, 2008. Detective Long also stated that he just wanted to close the Tupac case, and Mr. Davis was free to leave and would not be arrested. Now, even though they said Exhibit 4, I think they forgot to attach Exhibit 4 because I don't see no Exhibit 4. Not less, yeah. I think they forgot to attach Exhibit 4. That's not good. All right, so carry on. Um, All right. So in this statement by Mr. Davis, he basically repeated what he told the task force. One, Sean Combs wanted both Tupac and Suge Knight unalived, and that Mr. Combs was willing to pay for it. Mr. Davis was in Las Vegas for the Mike Tyson fight. Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith also came to Las Vegas in a rented van, in a rented white Cadillac to see Mike Tyson fight. Zip Martin provided a pow pow to use to pow pow Tupac. Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, Davis were all in the Cadillac. When the group found Tupac and Suge, they passed the pow pow to the back seat. DeAndre Smith was scared. Orlando took the pow pow and he um, pow powed the vehicle that Tupac was in. And so he's pretty much saying, so the first two interviews that he did with the feds, he told one story that he really didn't know who did what. And now you got these last two interviews that you did. Now you're telling everything. You're telling the story of what happened. That's all. You said Tupac beat his butt. I'm dying. Wait, for trying to take a chain. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I don't even think Diddy ever had any intentions of paying anybody, to be honest with you. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, as far back as 2009, was in possession of the same set of facts that the Clark County District Attorney is now Mr. Davis responsible for the unaliving of Tupac. The Clark County District Attorney's Office has offered no reason as to why it waited another 14 years to prosecute a case against Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis has been irreversibly prejudiced by the unnecessary delay in prosecution of this case, and Mr. Davis's constitutional rights have been violated in an extraordinary manner never before witnessed in the annals of American criminal justice system. So overall, what they are saying is technically, Keefe D did not pull that trigger. Right? Now, the person who pulled the trigger is now unalived. So who else are you going to try? But in the same token, you waited 14 years. What evidence do you have other than what has been stated in his interviews? Yeah. So what Keefe D's attorney is trying to get him off because he's saying, one, y'all, the state of Nevada does not have any corroborating evidence to go with his statements. You don't have no evidence, none whatsoever, to back up what Keefe D has stated in his interviews. It says that it has been long established that the corpus delicti must be demonstrated by the evidence independent by the confessions or admissions of the defendant. Confessions and admissions of the defendant may not be used to establish corpus delicti absent sufficient independent evidence. Once the state presents independent evidence that the offense has been committed, admissions and confessions may then be used to corroborate the independent proof. However, all other relevant evidence may be considered. The corpus delicti may be established by pure direct evidence, partly direct and partly circumstantial evidence, or entirely circumstantial evidence. In this present matter, the state has no independent evidence that Orlando Anderson or any other members of the Southside Crips pow-powed Tupac. This evidence comes solely from Mr. Davis' statements. The state has no evidence from a pow pow from Zip Martin was given to Mr. Davis and used in the pow powing. The state has no evidence that the driver and passengers in the white Cadillac were members of the Southside Crips. All of these are necessary to establish the corpus delicti of the state's indictment that Mr. Davis orchestrated the pow-powing of Tupac without independent evidence corroborating Mr. Davis's statements. The indictment must be dismissed. The state's delay in prosecution uh, irreversibly prejudiced Mr. Davis's right to a fair trial and due process. Like, they waited years later to do this. Here's what they said. Here's their argument. The right of due process protects a criminal defendant's interest in fair adjudication by preventing unjustified delays that weaken the defense through the dimming of memories, the death or disappearance of witnesses, and the loss of destruction of material physical evidence. And they cited People versus Nelson. Accordingly, delay in prosecution that occurs before the accused is arrested or the complaint is filed may constitute a denial of the right to a fair trial and to due process of law under the state and federal constitutions. A defendant seeking to dismiss a charge on the ground must demonstrate prejudice arising from the delay. The prosecution may offer justification for the delay, and the court considering a motion to dismiss must balance the harm to the defendant against the justification for the delay. Whether the delay was negligence or purposeful is relevant to the balancing process. Purposeful delay to gain an advantage is totally unjustified, and a relatively weak showing of prejudice would suffice to tip the scales toward finding a due process violation. If the delay was merely negligent, a greater showing of prejudice would be required to establish a due process violation. All right, so with that being said, the showing of Mr. Davis' prejudice by the state's delay in this matter is overwhelming. Too many witnesses have been unalived, and the unavailability of evidence has occurred during the prosecution's delay of this matter. Mind you, it's been 14 years. Specifically, the state of Nevada was in possession of evidence that they are now attempting to convict Mr. Davis upon as of 2009. Notwithstanding, no evidence was obtained immediately after the death of Tupac in 1996 by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police. The following is a list of prejudice experienced by Mr. Davis to date. So the passing and unavailability of Orlando, of Terrence, of DeAndre, Suge Knight locked up, he's not available. Sean Combs ain't available. Frank Alexander gone to the upper room. Eric Zip Martin gone to the upper room. Who else? Henry Lee Smith gone to the upper room. They can't locate any witnesses that may identify who was in the white Cadillac on the night of the pow-powing. And the who is this? Detective, the LAPD detective Russell Poole. He's no longer with us either. So no matter what the state's justification, the 20-year delay by failure to properly investigate the pow-powing of Tupac and the failure to prosecute Mr. Davis after his 2009 statements has unfairly and irreparably harmed Mr. Davis from having a fair trial and from his constitutional due process rights. This is crazy. Mr. Davis was provided immunity from all prosecution relating to the death of Tupac because he said y'all can't be you. I'm telling you this, but it's like you really didn't tell no information in those two FBI meetings that you had, to be honest. Let me see what you said. All right, so Diddy was scared of night. He glad he is like I know he is. I hope they put him in the I'm dying. His cousin pulled the but Keefe handed him. That's true. So technically he should be that's true too. Yeah. Everyone in the car should be charged, but everybody gone. So they can't charge nobody. Keefe the only one living and supposedly has cancer. But they were all unalive. Oh yeah, okay. Keefe and Diddy is the only one. Yep, they are. The FBI knew all of this when it happened, but they didn't like Tupac. Now it's new people over the case. Exactly. And it's a different time and age. I know. I need to look into that because I thought somebody said he died from other causes. Okay, I'm writing that down. I like Easy E. Okay, I'm gonna look into that. All right, so Mr. Davis was provided immunity. So, as discussed above, Mr. Davis gave a statement in 2008 regarding his involvement in the Tupac pow powing. He signed a proffer agreement which provided immunity for the information he furnished. A short time after the statement in 2009, Mr. Davis also gave a statement regarding his involvement in the Tupac unaliving. During this statement, the investigator officer from the not LA, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department again promised Mr. Davis that he would not be arrested for his involvement in this matter. Also present was Detective Dupree from the Los Angeles PD, who also was present at the initial 2008 interview. Detective Dupree orchestrated this follow up statement with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department so they could close the case. The state of Nevada was in possession in 2009 of the facts that led to his arrest in 2023. Specifically, his alleged statement that he was in the white Cadillac and handed the pow pow to the backseat passengers, which was utilized to pow pow Tupac. The state of Nevada must now honor the initial proffer agreement of 2008 and the Las Vegas Metropolitan PD's promise not to prosecute Mr. Davis. So that's what they're going back. Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting at, Baps. But that's not the case. I'm gonna look into that and see. That probably like a true crime podcast. So based off of what we have read so far, the statements that Keefe D has provided the FBI and the police departments in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, like they were offering him, they're saying if you give us information, we won't prosecute you. And that's what so they're asking Keefe D is now asking for this case to be dismissed because y'all initially told me y'all wasn't going to prosecute me if I give y'all information. And look at this. The state of Nevada recognizes cooperation agreements, and they put the statute there. Additionally, the state of Nevada also recognizes that transactional immunity provides for immunity towards any involvement the informant has with the commission of the crime which he provides information. Let me tell y'all something. And this is what I'm thinking. He is an informant. Like, I don't know if it's best for you to stay in jail or be out in these streets. I'm just saying. Nevertheless, the state of Nevada is refusing to honor the agreements provided to Mr. Davis by the federal government and by the Las Vegas Metropolitan PD. The Nevada Supreme Court in Tricius dismissed the case against the defendant who was granted immunity from the prosecution, and this court should also dismiss the case against Davis. In conclusion, based upon the foregoing reasons, Mr. Davis respectfully requests that this case be dismissed. The state of Nevada has violated Mr. Davis's constitutional rights, failed to follow the law in charging Mr. Davis, and has failed to honor previous agreements of immunity. And that's it. Oh, y'all we did this in about an hour and 49 minutes. That's it. So this motion, we are going to see what happens on January 21st. I need to write that down and calendar that. because I'm gonna be and the hearing is actually at 9 a.m. So that's gonna be what 12 my time, lunchtime. But yeah, y'all, that's I don't even know what to say about that. I'm glad I read that because now I have a better understanding as to what happened. So then willingly gave up information, whether it was correct or not correct, or truthful or false. And you guys told him that he wasn't going to be prosecuted. You know, he asked for immunity and y'all agreed to that. And the state of Nevada actually um, recognizes that. So I am, whew, this is crazy. Same old white man with Whitney Houston was with Easy E also. Over the careers to make them out. That girl, what? He did well. Thank you. They are going to. I believe that they are. I honestly believe that they are going to dismiss them and they're going to recognize the proffer agreements that they had initially. Girl, no, I'd be oblivious to all this stuff. Like I'll tune into some things, but I won't go digging. And I think I'm happy that I started my YouTube channel because now it makes me, even dive deeper into things to gain a more understanding of what the hell I'm talking about. But this right here, baby, once I get off of here, I'm about to be in my bed and I'm about to be looking up Ponytail and all these other people because this is deep. This is really, really deep. Like I love Los Angeles. I do. I love the culture out there, but I also want to know the history. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that I'm going to get into. So I've written down Easy E, but I'm going to follow up with y'all on the 21st to see how this is going to go. All right. But thank y'all for tuning in. For those who did, I hope y'all are having a nice Friday night. I know I'm stuck in the house, and then people are dealing with other natural disasters. But just y'all be safe. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay prayed up. Y'all let me think what y'all y'all think gonna happen at Keefe D's hearing on the 21st. Y'all think they're gonna let him go? Y'all think he gonna be let go out of the state of Nevada? Put it in the comments. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you know all of the juicy details. You sure do. But yeah, so y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all think Keefe D is gonna be released from prison, and if so, do you think that is a good thing? Do you think he's safer in prison than he is on the streets? Y'all put it in the comment below. Remember what you said. I am, and I'm gonna do some research because I'm gonna figure out who you talk about too. A Mexican drug lord. I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to the replay game. Thank y'all for tuning in as well. Definitely comment, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're watching late, there are super chats and super stickers that you are able to purchase to, just give me a thank you. I also have merch, so just definitely check that out and support. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.